Hey, welcome back to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. I'm your host, Coach Zach. I'm here with CJ Hunt, aka Silly C.
Yo.
And sweetest candy, Coach Brandy, back in the studio. I say back in the studio, we just, kept recording. We didn't even stop. We just swapped Zach out for CJ and we'll just keep rolling. So how we doing?
Great.
Wonderful.
Good. Okay, we're gonna dive right into this episode, this topic. So today we're talking about an all-inclusive fitness program. And so if you were listening last week, then you heard us towards the end. We kind of finished up talking about like how from a exercise standpoint, weight training can be a standalone program. All the other techniques or different modalities out there like yoga, Pilates, bar, even cardiovascular type training, running, jogging, hiking, whatever. They can all be elements of a fitness program, but they can't really be a standalone fitness program. Whereas fitness, from a fitness perspective, weight training can cover all of your bases and you can accomplish everything in that one system if it's well designed and programmed and thought out. A program like I'm gonna fire shots across the bow at like F45 since they just moved in across the street, so I want to just hammer them.
Bang bang.
Bang bang. But really any of like your boot camp style formats where it's F45, Orange Theory, Fit Body Boot Camp, like any of those. Really, it's somebody sitting in a room and thinking about a workout of the day, and they're going, "Man, this will be brutal if I put this exercise with this exercise, and we do it for this long." And they're not really zooming out and looking at it from an entire week, an entire month. They're not taking you through different periods or phases of training. And what we do with our program is we're looking at a starting point for our members, and we're looking at, they're going to start here and they're going to follow this process for 2 to 4 weeks. And then we're going to transition into this for the next 2 to 6 weeks. And then we're going to transition into this. So we're constantly building up and changing their program. And so that's why it's like we can be a standalone program and we can cover all the bases because we're constantly changing the focus for the member. Any of your other boot camp style workouts are not doing that. They're just like, hey, here's your thing, and come get your butt kicked.
Yeah.
Right. That's from the workout piece of things. But I want to expand on the whole entire health and fitness like requirements, not just the exercise piece. So what do you guys think is important or are important elements of a holistic program?
Well, I think when it comes to like it's talking about making it an entire lifestyle, there's lots that comes into it. It's not just the workout. I mean, you need sleep. People don't even think about that. You've got to get sleep to be able to come in and work out. Not to mention that's where the body recovers a lot. And honestly, mostly when you're resting. That's where you're going to get that. Also, nutrition comes to a part of it. Have to have that with it. One I think that a lot of people don't pay attention to is education. Learning why they're doing things or the reasons behind the things that they're doing. People don't pay attention to that, but if you understand it, you're going to get better results from it because you know why you're doing the exercises or the activities that you're doing while you're working out. Plus the sleep and the nutrition, all that does come together. And just coming in and getting your workout is not going to be good enough. To a point it will, but then you'll plateau and you have to add everything else into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's 168 hours in a week. You work out for 3 or 4 of them. Like you're not gonna undo all the damage that you're doing in every other area, right? If the other things aren't dialed in, like especially the nutrition piece, you're not going to overcome that just by working out an hour a day several times a week, right? What do you think, Brandy?
Yeah, I agree with what CJ said. I think sleep, nutrition, recovery, and then I would add to that like your mental mindset. So kind of your overall well-being. And I think that that can be improved through working out and sleep and recovery and all of that. But just kind of checking in with yourself and making sure that you're in the right place as far as your mindset is concerned.
Yeah, I think the stress management is huge in the mindset piece. And I love, CJ, that you mentioned education, because, you always want to understand the why, right? We talk about that all the time. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? And is that moving you in the right direction? But I think as you kind of go through or go down like a health journey or a transformation process, if you get excited and passionate about learning what's happening, and which is a pretty amazing process, and it's your body, right? So hopefully that you do find that very interesting and intriguing to you, and so you want to learn about it. But as you learn, and you start to understand and come to the realization of how amazing the human body is and what it's capable of and how it responds to different things, that can be so motivating. And so it sparks this interest, right? And you start to like want to understand and learn more and more and more. And then as you learn more and more and more, you're more motivated to implement it in your life, and it's just a snowball effect. And you really start looking at, you look at all these other areas of your life, and you recognize this leads to this, and this leads to this. And that's why I like to tell people, here it's like a pyramid, right? Where the foundational layer is the workout piece. No matter what, we've got to get you moving and get the body active, right? Something, object in motion stays in motion. So that's really important. And that's usually the main focus that people have. They're like, I need to get in shape. I need to move, right? I need to work out. So we just kind of start with, hey, let's get in a routine with that. Then let's stack the nutrition piece on top of that. And then let's look at the lifestyle and the other factors, right? Stress management, work-life balance, how much sleep you get, all these other things. And then let's start building a framework around that and dissect your day and dissect your week and build out like, okay, I wake up at this time, then I do this action, and then I do this action, and then I do this, and then I eat at these times. And then we're building out your entire day and your entire week, and we're stacking habits, right? We start to establish these routines, and then we start attaching things to those routines. And as you get excited about it and you're learning about it and you're like, man, this leads to this and this leads to this, it's just, it starts to encompass you, right? And so I think that's the thing that goes missing for most people is they don't understand that it's not just the workout piece. It's all these other things that are going to impact your health and your fitness and your results. And I would say that's kind of our X factor, or one of our differentiators is you're not just showing up and doing a workout and then leaving for the day, right? Maybe if you're 20 years old and you're in pretty good shape and you've been an athlete, then you can just go work out and you probably get away with the other stuff. Probably catch up with you eventually. But that's what I want people to understand is you need an entire program, a holistic approach.
I kind of like to think of it like you said, snowball. You can either have good stuff in the middle of that snowball, or you can have bad stuff in the middle of that snowball. You can have rocks on the inside that's going to hurt you, or you can build that snow and you can pack it up and you're going to be able to throw it across when you're having that snowball fight. So the good stuff, that's the stretching, that's the recovery, all of that. But it can go bad the other way too. If you're eating a bunch of crap and only having that workout, it's not going to add to it. Plus, if you're not, sleeping, that can add as well. It's either going to go good or bad, and you can pick which way you're going to go. And the good one is a lot better way and a lot better choice.
Yeah, and just being aware of it and noticing it. So, like, if I wake up at 6 a.m. and I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. and then I do my workout at 8 a.m., I'm probably going to feel a lot differently by 10 a.m. than if I roll out of bed at 7:30 and then I do my workout at 8 and then I haven't eaten anything and now it's 10 o'clock and now I'm like, okay, I need to eat something. Like it's understanding how one thing impacts the other thing. And so many people out there, they're binge watching TV. They can't go to sleep late at night. They're sitting in bed looking at their phone and then they sleep for 4 hours and then they're awake for 3 hours and then they, are fatigued in the morning and they're pounding caffeine and then they're too tired to work out. So they skip the gym. And it's just this, like you said, there's the wrong things in the snowball, and it picks up speed and it grows and it gets worse and worse and worse, and they can't like break this cycle. So really what they need is a coach who's going to break it all down for them, but make it realistic. Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to go 0 to 100. You just need to go 0 to 10. You just have to like literally roll out of bed in the morning and start creeping along. And pretty soon it's going to get easier and easier and easier, right? Brandy wants to say something. I see it in her eyes.
No, I was just thinking, I agree with everything you're saying. I was just thinking that the great thing is that we're all in control of what our own daily habits are, and that those daily habits do turn into whether you're having that great snowball effect or that negative snowball effect. And I also, would ask people to pay attention to how they're feeling in their workout. So if you come in and you have a great day and you're feeling energized and you had a fantastic workout, think about what happened the day before that workout, the night before that workout. What did you do that morning that led to, you having a lot of energy and having a great workout? And then compare that to a day where maybe you came in and you felt drained and you didn't have the energy to get through a workout. What led to that feeling? Did you not get a good night's sleep? Did you not have good nutrition that day? Were you not preparing your body for success in your workout? And I think if you really think about, how you feel from day to day and what's impacting how you feel, then that might help you to make those changes and really go for those healthy daily habits that will lead to an overall, it will lead to the results that you want to see and the changes you want to see.
Yeah, and that's part of the initial phase of a coaching program, where we're dissecting somebody's whole entire day and life basically, is journaling and tracking all of those things. What time did you eat? Okay, what did you eat? How much did you eat? And then how did that make you feel an hour later, 2 hours later? And so we're giving them the tools and the framework to identify those things. And so it goes one step deeper than what you're saying, Brandy, which is like, hey, you want to be aware of this, right? Which you do want to be aware of it, but write it down. Yes. Don't just think it, ink it, right? Yeah. Write it down and keep a journal. And what you'll start to find is you'll start to notice where the flaws are and how that's impacting everything else.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
So I want to talk about, because this is something that I don't think we've ever touched on before, or if we have, we haven't spent much time on it, which is nutrition periodization. And so, we talked briefly about our program and how we take our members through different phases of training and different periodization of training. And it's not well known that people need to vary their nutrition to match their needs or to impact weight loss or weight gain or whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. And so many women out there are in a calorie deficit for such a long period of time, and you can't just have a diet. You have to have a diet after the diet, right? You have to have a plan in different phases of training. And so it's, it needs to be balanced, and then you can get aggressive, or it needs to be aggressive and then you have to go to a more balanced approach, and you have to constantly be varying those things up. And so you zoom out, right? You zoom out and you look at the big picture, and really the place to start is for somebody to say, okay, in a year, here's what I want to accomplish, and have this big goal. Everybody's afraid of big goals, right? I'm like, no, identify the big goal And then we look at it from that period of time, and then we start zooming in, right? And we start coming in and we start breaking down all of those things all the way down to hours of the day. We're going from a year to hours, right? And how we're going to follow that entire process and roadmap it out. And that's the key to really getting results. That's why so many people, they start and they see temporary success, and then they fall off, and then they gain all their weight back, and they blow it, and they fall out of these healthy routines and habits, is because it's too short term. There's not a plan after the plan, or the plan that they're doing is unsustainable, and it doesn't match their lifestyle. And anytime you're going to do something that you want to stick to, you need it to look as much like your current lifestyle as possible and make minor tweaks.
Yeah.
I think it brings me to a good point. It's just a saying, but it's like boo too much of a good thing. You can't go all in on one thing. You got to have a little bit of everything. Everything in moderation is the same thing when it comes to working out and having pieces of your life all come together. Can't focus on only one area. You got to get it with everything. Can't have it all on one spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and don't spread yourself thin. You don't necessarily have to start covering everything, but you have to start somewhere and then build upon that. Right? You can never get comfortable or not be progressing, right?
Right.
Comfort or growth, not both.
Right.
Right. And so that's the key, is like, yes, you want to master something and establish those habits and that routine, but then you have to build on it. Right. And so don't be just a boot camper, right? That's what else am I supposed to say? Like, don't have this workout of the day mentality. Have an entire program approach that covers all the areas: the workout piece, the nutrition piece, the sleep piece, the work-life balance piece. Like, enjoy your life, right? Like the stress management piece. Are you doing breath work? How do you do what triggers you? What are your triggers, and what's the negative or positive habits that come from those triggers? Like, you have to identify all of those things. And that's really what a holistic approach is about when it comes to a fitness program.
Exactly.
And it can lead to burnout.
You covered. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's all we got for you this week. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with more great stuff.
If it costs to be your best, to rest assured, you got to pay.
Thank you so much for listening to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. Do you have a question that you'd like for us to answer live on the podcast? If so, all you need to do is head over to the Apple Podcast app on your iPhone and do 3 simple things. First, leave us a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want related to health, fitness, or nutrition. And if you want a shout out, leave us your Instagram handle or name. That's all you have to do. Then listen to hear your questions answered live on the next Q&A episode.